Hi, I'm Chris Stirewalt, and as luck would have it, this is Power Play. Hello, Internet. How are you? Okay, so here's the thing. This week, there were potentially confusing but seemingly contradictory indices about what is the direction of the Republican Party. On the one hand, certainly you started to see people like the youngest scion of the Bush family, George P., is for President Bush. The Land Commissioner of Texas said, you got to suck it up, you got to back Donald Trump. Others continue to fall in line. But at the same time, Paul Ryan won a clouty 66-point victory in Wisconsin over a challenger who Donald Trump had flirted with backing. And across the board, 50 Republican national security experts said no Trump. And also Susan Collins, who's kind of a Republican-ish senator from Maine, she said that she would not back Trump. So whose party is this anyway? Who's in charge here? Is Donald Trump remaking the GOP? The GOP remaking Donald Trump? Are they just going to separate? What's going to happen? People who may know, or I am told may know, include Chris Deaton. He is with the Weekly Standard. He is the one with the beard. You can remember him like that. And this is Adam Wollner. He does not have a beard, but he also loves America, and he is from National Journal. Okay, guys, how we doing?
Doing well.
Okay, Chris, start with you.
Sure.
Paul Ryan, I don't want to overinterpret Paul Ryan's victory. The one congressional district in Wisconsin with relatively few votes stipulate this does not mean the whole thing about the world. But is there some significance in Paul Ryan's win? Well,
I believe Donald Trump actually lost Ryan's district during the Wisconsin primary, too. So
yeah.
he had that going against him already. I think it signals that it might not be a national movement to a certain extent.
Okay.
That, you know, Trump does have this sort of cult of personality figure about him. I mean, people really believe in Donald Trump. The things that Donald Trump says everything every day,
right,
on a daily basis.
So many words.
That's exactly right. So many words, so many clauses in a sense.
Right.
It's kind of like reading Faulkner sometimes.
Right.
So people buy into Donald Trump. So that's kind of the bottom line with I think what we saw in Wisconsin.
So he's
night.
Doing well in Yakavanawa County. Adam, when we talk about how nominees change parties, right? So first of all, and here's the thing: if you lose, you don't get to change your party. If you lose, it wasn't Bob Dole's Republican Party after 1996, right? So you lose, and they say that guy, I don't remember that guy. But as we look about Donald Trump changing the Republican Party, for example, on trade, on national security, on what the priorities are. He is, whatever else it is, you can't argue he's not remaking the Republican Party.
That's right, and I think it's really more splitting into two. We kind of have the Donald Trump wing of the Republican Party now. You know, people like Paul Ryan's primary challenger who were, even if Trump didn't end up endorsing him, he was still very much influenced by his candidacy in challenging Paul Ryan. And then you do kind of still have the Paul Ryan wing of the party, which clearly still has a foothold. And Paul Ryan's resounding victory in his home district, I think, points to that. So the question is, after this election is over, can they mend fences? Can they come back together? Because as we've seen over these past 2 weeks, more and more Republicans have come out and have been willing to say, I'm not going to support Donald Trump for president. And some are even going as far as to say, I'm going to vote for Hillary Clinton.
And this is my question. If Donald Trump has not changed, Donald Trump is the immutable truth of the American political landscape, is that he wakes up every day and he says something that every day causes upset. Now, whether it works to his benefit or works against him depends on the day, depends on the upset. But he is a natural man, if anything. Where does a Republican get off who had endorsed Donald Trump after he had, implicated Ted Cruz's father in the Kennedy assassination, or made fun of a disabled reporter, or any of the things that Trump had done before? The person who endorsed him after that, where do they get off once he's down 10 points in the polls, coming out and repudiating Trump? Isn't that a little churlish?
Nobody likes losing.
Right.
So it's just
it's unpopular.
Just raise the white flag and write it in Sharpie on the flag and just admit it, I guess, at that point.
Right.
Look back at John McCain. I mean, this is the starkest example of it. We're going all the way back to last year, last summer, when we kicked off this entire Trump experience with Trump's comment against McCain.
I like my war heroes who don't get captured.
Yes, that's exactly right. And the fact that McCain has stuck with him and has said he intended to support the Republican nominee and the backs and forths that he's had with him.
How much does that taste like ashes in his mouth when he says that?
It just has to be terrible. So all these lawmakers have to be thinking this. person, a person like Collins did end up getting off saying that, well, look, it is the attitudinal
But she had never gotten on, to be fair.
That's a good point.
She had never gotten on. But for the people, for the Republicans who ate the Trump sandwich.
Right, and here's the important part here. People like Susan Collins, they're not facing the voters this fall.
Mm-hmm.
John McCain is. Yeah. So it's a lot harder.
And in a primary.
Right. Exactly. So it's a lot harder for McCain to say, no, I'm not standing by our nominee, when he's going to need those voters who are going to go to the polls for Donald Trump to vote for him, one in his primary and then in his general election campaign. And it looks like things in Arizona are a little bit tighter.
If it doesn't get closer for Trump, if he can't close this gap pretty soon, will we see more defections? Yes?
I think so, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
No question.
So he's got to get it tight, tighten it up. Gentlemen, thank you for keeping it tight. And you, Internet, we appreciate you stopping by. We hope you come back for more Power Play real soon.